Hi there, I'm Lori, aka Jazzy Cat, and I recently did something really exciting, and as you can tell from the title, was it worth the value? Recently went on the Carnival Vista, one of their newer cruise ships, and my sister and I did the chef's table. Now this is something that's been on my list for a really long time. It's something that I wanted to do. It's something that gives you sort of a glimpse into the kitchen and seeing how everything works. Plus it's super elevated and really fancy. Now there was hesitation because if you've been on a cruise, you know, you get so much food for free. It's already included in your price. You could eat from morning till night and still miss things. But then they have some of these paid experiences. They have, you know, a steakhouse, which is, you know, $38 a person, and they have an Asian restaurant, which is $15 a person, and an Italian restaurant that's $15 a person. And then they have the chef's table, which is an experience like no other. Now, it hurts because the pricing on this is $95 a person. So you could easily go to the restaurant and not pay for food, and I think that's why a lot of people don't do it. But hands down, this is one of the greatest experiences I've ever had on a cruise ship. And this was my 15th cruise, so I'm not a beginner. And I've been on a lot of them. And so when we first arrived to our chef's table experience, they had sort of a meeting platform, and it was welcoming and sort of here's an introduction of what's going to happen, and there was champagne, and every time you turned around there was more champagne in your glass. So it was just a really nice start to the experience. They started off with sort of a mushroom teaser that had mushrooms 3 ways, and it was amazing, and everything was like a punch in your face of flavor. Now I'm going to post pictures below and show you some of the pictures of the dining experience at the end, so stay tuned and watch for it. But after you go to this sort of meeting platform and you enjoy some champagne, you meet your table mates for the evening, then you go to the dining room. Not the regular dining room, but this is a special dining room inside the kitchen. So it's just you and your table mates sitting around the table with the chef for the evening. This is what it is, and there's, you know, a small server team. Now we get there and there is the card that you know, shows you where your spot is. So every person is placed. You don't pick where you sit. So it was such a nice touch that it got me excited. And then I saw this. Look at that. So it tells you the ship that you're on. It tells you the date, and then it runs down the entire menu. So I know you can't read this on here, so I'm going to give you some, hello cat, cat's here. And so I'm going to give you sort of a little rundown. So there's a chef's taste, which is sort of to whet your appetite, and everything that you get is almost like a single bite or 2 bites that just sort of gives you a taste. It's a tasting menu, but so elevated and just amazing. So this was hazelnut cookie, frozen raspberry, Greek yogurt. Then it had the single best thing of the entire evening on this first part. It was a crispy pork belly sitting on a little piece of kimchi glass. It was like a crispy bit of kimchi, and it had bacon snow, which was just like a dehydrated bacon essence that just like melted in your mouth. And it had foam sesame oil sponge passion fruit, eggplant dusted candy floss. So all of this happened on one plate in like 3 different places, and it was phenomenal. And then it goes on to duck and their version of surf and turf, and that was like a soup with a lobster leather and then beef tea poured over it, and then you stir it up yourself. And I'm gonna put the little video of the process of that surf and turf soup, because it was like, it was all part of the whole experience. It wasn't just this and that, but it was the composition of everything. So I'll put the video of that at the end too, because you get a special tool, and it was just a really great experience. But there was sea bass and lamb and veal, and then there was dessert, which was this coffee crema and this boat of, I don't even know. Everything was amazing. And I don't know what this word is, mingderes, but it was good. It was real good. And so this was such a nice souvenir. And as we're having dinner, you get your choice of red wine or white wine, and it just keeps on flowing all through the night. Every time you turn around, there's more wine in your glass. And what an amazing experience. Not diabetic friendly, but you know, it was a one-off. So while we're eating, and they say, you know what, gather around, and they take your picture of your whole table people, and then by the end, they bring you out the picture so that you could take it home. So a wonderful experience with a wonderful finish, and I highly recommend it. If it's something that, you know, if you're going on a cruise, it's something that you can plan for in advance. You know, I think that you can even buy yourself some onboard credit so that you can have it paid for in advance. And hands down, it was the best experience I've ever had on a cruise ship. It was amazing, and I would definitely do it again. Now, I know on the Vista and the New Horizon that they have this room, and if you look in this picture, you can see, you know, it's in this really nice, just an elegant room that's just for this one table, and that's it. But if you book it on a non-Vista class cruise, it's actually in the kitchen. So it'll be a little louder and a little less, you know, fancy, but still everything else should be just as fancy. And I'm pretty sure that you know, the menu across the board is probably going to be pretty similar, because they've got to keep it consistent across the cruise, I'm sure. But if you can do it, do it. It was a great experience. And I've always been curious as to, is it really worth it to spend this extra money when you don't have to? You can get good food in the dining room, and it was so worth it. So is the chef's table worth it? It absolutely is. And you should try it if it's something that, you know, if you're a foodie, if you like those one-of-a-kind kind of experiences, definitely do it, because I was talking about it the entire cruise. I don't even think I've shut up about it since we've been home from the cruise. And anyway, that was just a, you know, I just had to share that information with you, even though this isn't an unboxing and it's not really a product review, but it's still sort of a service review. So we'll count it as a review. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. I'm going to continue to bring you fun videos, and please like, share, comment below, and I'll see you next time.
Your Parmesan spear. No lobster for you.
What was mine?
Parmesan. Parmesan spear.
Okay. Awesome.
Parmesan cream and make it to a spear form.
Thank you.
So you can have that onion powder inside. This onion powder.
Oh. And then you whisk it.
So you have a floating spear on top.
Yes.
So that's a lobster based soup. So you break that spear and mix a combination of that beef tea and lobster and enjoy it. Sometimes this goes actually. I need to answer.